Hello, welcome to the Insider Sessions. Tonight we have Ben Wantland with us from Des Moines, Iowa. Say hello, Ben.
Hello, Ben.
So, you're going to play a set here at Beaverdale tonight?
That's right, at A.K. O'Connor's in Beaverdale. It's kind of my my local watering hole. I live about a mile away from here, and on any given evening that I don't have anything better to do, it's not unusual to see my bicycle parked outside and myself parked on a stool. And once every month or two, I manage to find myself in the corner of the room with the lights on and a guitar in my hand. So
you are quite the regular here, that's for sure. Just live down the street, and you are a songwriter. And what kind of music would you say that you write if you had to pigeonhole yourself into something?
Man, I can't imagine that somebody who is my friend and a fellow songwriter would ever ask a question like that, knowing how much he hates having to answer a question like that. Because nobody likes to be pigeonholed, especially somebody who's in it trying to create something different that may or may not be able to be categorized. With that said, I mean, if country music were intelligent instead of stupid, I think that I would probably be called country music. Or if folk music weren't about whatever it's about, and if it were a little more aggressive, then I suppose I would be that kind of music. And
who do you think? I mean, when you're writing things, I suppose everybody kind of takes influences from certain bands. You want to name a couple that that get you motivated to write songs?
I've been
or what motivates you to write songs?
I've been unnaturally inspired by Glenn Campbell for the past year or two. I don't know why, and I don't mean Rhinestone and Cowboy Glenn Campbell. I mean the Glenn Campbell who had songs like Galveston and Wichita Lineman and things of that nature, which, if you're not familiar, the guy was kind of like what I was just talking about. He was a country singer, but wasn't encumbered by any silly boundaries of what you have to be country. You don't have to repeat a bunch of things that make you country. You can make music that's beautiful and that addresses deep philosophical, questions and everything. But Glenn Campbell never had that happen in an interview, I guarantee. So,
do most of your songs, are they true stories most of the time, or are they sometimes made up? Or
well, that's a good question, and it's pertinent to where I'm at, I guess, as a songwriter, because I'm making the transition right now, and I think that every songwriter does. I could be wrong, but I strongly suspect that everybody that gets into writing songs does it because they have something in their own life that they want to talk about, some metaphorical demons that they want to exercise, and typically those are the lowest quality work that people do at the beginning of their careers, and the same is true of myself, I guess. But I think that I've just recently largely moved out of that phase, and I'm still a little bit informed by the reality of my own life. But on the other hand, I tend to concoct stories that are about situations that I can relate to, but that I can relate to in the same way as the person who may hear the song. And I think that type of relationship is good for both me and the ultimate listener. And it allows you to get a little more creative with things, which of course is kind of the point of art anyway, creation. So,
yeah. So I guess I know you have quite a few songs written, and I've known you since before you even really were trying to pursue music as something that you wanted to do in a live sense. But now that you do you have any goals or anything like that, I suppose, is where you want to take it? Or
well, yeah, I mean, in the near future I want to make a record. I have I have a handful of songs that I think are worth listening to a time or two, and it'd be nice to both record them for posterity and to breathe a little more life into them and make them into something perhaps greater than they are now. But as you may be aware, making records cost a tremendous amount of money, and that is something which I've not yet figured out how I'm going to do. But I know that it's coming in the near future. I've been talking to friends about recording and talking to friends about producing and such. So I think there'll be at least a short record within the next year, hopefully. But in the meantime, I just like playing live. I don't know what it is about music, but I like playing it, and I think I don't know in the grand scheme of every singer, songwriter, or guitarist that has ever existed or even that exists today in Des Moines, I don't know if my talent level stacks up on paper, but I like playing music live. I like playing my own songs live, and I think that I'm good at it in that live situation, and that my conviction is able to, to add to the quality of that, and folks seem to enjoy it, and it always feels right to me. So just like playing live music, and that's what we're going to do here in a few minutes tonight. We're going to go out in the other room and play some songs for the folks here at AK's, and it's going to be fun.
So do you have a song that you've written recently that has a bit of a story to it, or anything like, I guess, any particular song that stands out in your mind that you'd like to say something about, or I mean something that has a particular, hits kind of close to home or whatever?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I got this song, and I don't even know if I was going to play it tonight, but now that you asked that question, it suddenly seems relevant, and I wrote it recently. I've only played it live a couple of times. It's called Young and Free, and it is just about the arrogance of youth and old Playboy magazines and the dating habits of my generation, and the fact that well, I don't know, we're all looking for something, but we all kind of figure that we're going to be able to exist as we do now forever, and I strongly suspect that that's not the case. And so anyway, the song kind of addresses all that, and I think a casual listener wouldn't even hear some of the meaning that's there, but the more you listen and everything, the more you can get out of it. And so I don't know, I'm pretty proud of it lyrically anyway, and I'll probably play it here in a few minutes, I suppose.
All right. Well, do you have any shows coming up? Is there anything else you want to talk about at all? Is there any
Sure, yeah.
anything you'd like to add and let people know about you?
Well, as far as shows coming up, like I say, I usually play every 2 months here at AK's in Beaverdale on Sunday nights as part of the Not Another Sunday songwriter series, and I have one of those coming up on August 14th, I believe. And other than that, I usually promote everything in the paper, and just if you see my name, if you see Ben Wantland in the paper, just come to the show. Most of the things I do are free anyway, so.
Don't forget about the New Morning Coffee House that you're going to be playing at.
That's true, in Grimes, Iowa.
That's a new one.
I have a new venue that I've recently booked, and I have not even been there, so I don't even know how I managed to get my foot in the door, but I'm glad that my reputation preceded me well enough that they decided to book me anyway. I think the date on that, I want to say, is Friday, August 5th, and I'll be playing up there I'll play for a little over 2 hours, and it's going to be neat. I hear it's a great venue. It's a coffee house and a wine tavern, and I'm really excited about that. It's always nice to kind of branch out a little bit within the central Iowa area. So
one last question, I guess, too. Where does country music come from when it comes from Iowa? Where are you from?
Sheraton.
That's right.
Yeah, it comes from the hills of southern Iowa, just miles from the Missouri border, but not very many miles from any number of Missouri crossings on dirt roads. So.
And can people find you online anywhere? On Facebook,
Yes,
MySpace,
indeed.
Twitter, or whatever?
Well, MySpace still exists.
It's like
I shouldn't
Walmart.
say that. But, I'm on Facebook.com/Ben Wantland Music. And it's Wantland as if I don't have it, but I want it. So that I could be an Esquire. I want land. But, Facebook.com/Ben Wantland Music. And if you go there and click like, maybe when I get a few hundred people that like the page, maybe then I'll be able to book more prestigious shows, and maybe then I'll be able to afford to make records. So, it's a beautiful cycle when it works that way. So feel free to support. I'd appreciate it.
Well, thanks for doing an Insider Sessions interview with us, and we'll go out and catch a few songs now.
All right, thanks very much for having me.
Ben Wantland.